Redshift here, doing my part to shift perceptions out of the pink and into the red. The very fact that people say that women don't know what they want proves that women want to be re-enslaved. In a society in which women have freedom and are not enslaved, that is going to be a society where you have women vacillating, and they're saying they want this and they want that, and they're nagging and they're unhappy, etc., etc. Women are going to be nagging and unhappy and saying they want all the different things under the sun and everything they don't have. And when they do get those things, they're going to still be unhappy because what they really want is to be re-enslaved. A woman whose husband helps around the house, she'll say that he's too clingy or he's around too much or he's up her ass all the time and doesn't give her space. She wants her space, right? A husband who's working a lot and never helps around the house will also be accused. She'll accuse him of never helping her. He's gone too much. He never helps her around the house, etc., etc. Whatever he's doing or not doing will be criticized, and she'll say he's around too much or he's not around enough. He doesn't make enough money, or he's never around because, he's either working long hours to make more money, or he's not working long hours so that he can spend time with her and the kids. But then it's like, you don't make enough money, right? Like, no matter what he does or doesn't do, he'll always be wrong. Especially if he's an average guy, especially today. Especially with women being in the workforce, driving down wages for everybody tremendously, and the high taxation and all the rest of it, right? He'll always be wrong. She'll always criticize whatever he's doing or not doing. This is because what she really wants, deep down in her feminine soul, is to be re-enslaved, is to be forced to be happy and content with however he declares things are going to be from then on. And then her not being allowed to complain about it so that she will then be able to be content. That's what she wants. There is no way to have a happy egalitarian relationship with a woman because even if she's smart and self-controlled and successful and makes just as much money as him, she will trade up and leave him for another guy who is more masculine, even if that more masculine guy makes less money. What women really want is to feel like a woman, and the only way she can feel like a woman is to be with a truly masculine guy, a guy who is totally willing to use physical force against her to make her behavior be better, to make her behave, to make her obey, to make her faithful and devoted, etc. Women are trying to push men into re-enslaving women, and men are, as evidenced by MGTOW, still refusing to enslave women. This is why women are becoming more and more insane, more and more, publicly insane. What with the slut walks and just all the insanity, right? Like, women are just screaming out with their actions, not their words. With their actions. I'm not saying they're screaming out in the sense that, like, we need to re-enslave them. I'm saying, like, subconsciously, they're trying to get men to re-enslave them, right? But men are just refusing to do it, Men are still cowardly refusing to use physical force to re-enslave women, such as spanking. And men will complain that they can't use physical force because of the government not allowing them to. But that's just more proof to women that men are pussies and that they deserve to be enslaved. Because if men are not brave enough to deal with the government problem, then those men are cowards and don't deserve sex, don't deserve love, don't deserve devotion from women, don't deserve to pass in their genes, etc., etc. And it's also showing women that men themselves believe the government is a legitimate authority, because how many men make channels and open their mouth against the existence of government? Hardly any men do that, right? Or that men are just too cowardly to deal with the government. That's another thing that women see. Women see that, okay, men are not speaking out against government, so government must be the ultimate authority. It must be legitimate. Or it's not legitimate, but men are too cowardly to deal with it, and so I don't want a weak, cowardly man, So, this is how it is, right? Like, men, with their refusal to promote anarcho-capitalism, with their refusal to condemn the legitimacy of deny the legitimacy of government, condemn government's very existence, men, by refusing to do that, are giving women the sign that government is a legitimate authority, you see? And so, of course, women are going to take government's side when men are being statists, right? This is how it is, and when men are giving women the message that government is legitimate, then it's, let's see, yada, yada. Rather, men are giving women the message that even if government is an illegitimate authority, it's still a case of government needing to be obeyed because it's the supreme authority. And women always obey the supreme authority, even if it's evil, right? So women are not going to help men overthrow the government, at least not anytime soon, especially when most MGTOW men are so foolish and cuckish as to still be statists, right? Now, if 90% or more of MGTOW men were loud, proud, anarcho-capitalists, then women would start rethinking the statism thing. And many would start becoming anarcho-capitalists, especially after MGTOW gets much, much bigger. And you got, 30, 50, 70% of men saying they're anarcho-capitalists. then women would jump on the bandwagon and start being anarcho-capitalists too. And then all the 30% of men left who are still statist idiots, they'd take women's cue, especially all the liberal pussies, the men who are liberals, they'd start, following women's cue, and then they'd become anarcho-capitalists too. You see? So, men first have to stop being statists, then women will stop being statists, and then the rest of men, the pussies, will stop being statists too. And then we can have anarcho-capitalism, or at least we can, get rid of the government for the most part, or at least make things way, way, way better, right? And they'd start rethinking the statism thing, and then many would start becoming anarcho-capitalists once again. Men are still setting a bad example for women today, which is what caused the problems in the first place. Men being promiscuous and thereby indicating to women that promiscuity is totally morally acceptable, even though it's not. So, what else is there to say about it other than that? This has been Redshift. Peace trucks.